coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. Changes are on the horizon for several Swift Current neighborhoods, following the closure of 4 schools in the city. Over the past several months, the city has started its consultation with the public on future planning for these neighborhoods. Another school season is underway for students in Saskatchewan, and as they get back into their daily routine of getting to class, motorists are reminded to be on the lookout for pedestrians in school zones and school buses parked with flashing lights and stop arms extended. Another harvest season is underway across Saskatchewan, and as many producers prepare to put in long hours out on the field, safety should always be top of mind. Thanks for joining us here today. With a number of former schools set for demolition in Swift Current, the city is hosting a number of open houses to discuss future plans. Changes are on the horizon for several Swift Current neighborhoods, following the closure of 4 schools in the city. This includes St. Joseph's, Oman, Ashley Park, and St. Patrick's schools. Over the past several months, the city has started its consultation with the public on future planning for these neighborhoods, first with St. Joe's and St. Pat's. In the case of the former St. Joseph's School, which has already been demolished, initial one-on-one meetings have already taken place with neighborhood residents, with ideas incorporated into these designs on display at a recent open house.
Right now the site's subdivided for 20 lots, and we proposed 34 units as a condo-style development. The other thing that we did here is people wanted to see something unique in the area, something different that drawed people to the south. So we've included some internal park space. That was one of the things that folks wanted to see, which includes a playground facility. The skating pad that exists there now is intended to have basketball courts as well, and we've retained the skating rink.
New concepts which were pleasing to many at the open house, including Southside resident John Penny.
I think it's important that they do the planning and get some input from the locals, and since it's been my home in Southside for at least 45 years, I'm excited about it. I'm sorry to see the school go down, but then progress has to come. And it's just like what's going to happen later to Oman. It's good that they plan ahead. I think they have some real nice plans laid out here.
Meanwhile, the public consultation for the St. Patrick's School site has just begun, with this initial open house, focusing first on the school grounds.
Our primary focus is on using that existing building for potential programming in the future, and then putting in a full-size soccer pitch, which is sorely needed in the community, and that would help to accommodate some events in the future, like the summer games upcoming in 2019.
Proposed changes which are pleasing to these Northwest residents.
I think this is very exciting for our end of town because we don't have a green space like this with a really big park in our area. So I think it's fantastic that the city has decided to use this space.
I'm glad I saw the plan. It looks really great with all ages are being addressed, like not just the very young kids, but youth as well, and even parents actually, with all the benches and of course the trees. Once they've completed it, I believe it would be a great place for everyone in this part of the community, especially for the many new Canadians who are here in this area.
And following a review of any comments or suggestions gathered from each of these open houses, Associated Engineering will make any changes to each of the concept plans for St. Joe's and St. Pat's before presenting it to Council. And following a green light from Council members, a request for proposals will then be sent out to attract any potential developers for each of the sites.
We would take a fundraiser that they do every year at the universities, and we'd extend it across a whole week here in Swift Current in our own community.
Another exciting season of Market Square returns to downtown Swift Current, featuring live entertainment, fresh garden produce, crafts, and other unique vendors. Market Square, every Saturday at the corner of Central and Chaplin. Proudly presented by the City of Swift Current and Standard Motors, along with Innovation Credit Union and Southwest TV News. As students head back to class for another year, motorists are again being reminded to slow down when passing through school zones. Another school season is underway for students in Saskatchewan, and as they get back into their daily routine of getting to class, motorists are reminded to be on the lookout for pedestrians in school zones and school buses parked with flashing lights and stop arms extended.
Just remember that kids are going to be excited to be heading back to school, and they might not be paying attention, so we just want to make sure that you are very alert when you're driving through school zones, and just watch for kids in between parked cars that may dart out into traffic, and just make sure to slow down.
Parents are also reminded to advise their children to be careful around traffic and make eye contact with drivers before proceeding through any crosswalk. The posted speed limit in school zones varies in most communities across the province, between 30 and 40 kilometers per hour, and is usually in effect 7 days a week. And if motorists fail to obey the posted speed limits, hefty fines and other penalties will be enforced.
So penalties for speeding in school zones, they start at $140 minimum, and then they increase by $2 for every kilometer over the posted speed limit. And then also you receive 3 demerit points under SGI's Safe Driver Recognition Program. So just depending where you sit on the safety rating scale, you may actually lose some of your insurance discount if you have one, and also have to pay a financial penalty on top of that fine.
According to the most recent stats from SGI, in 2014 there were 6,100 convictions for speeding through school zones in Saskatchewan, and 40 collisions resulting in 15 injuries. Another harvest season is here, and safety is once again in the spotlight for all ages on the farm. Another harvest season is underway across Saskatchewan, and as many producers prepare to put in long hours out on the field, safety should always be top of mind. Every year, hundreds of accidents are reported across the prairies on the farm, and according to the Canadian Centre for Health and Safety in Agriculture, those numbers are highest between August and October.
Putting in the long hours impairs your judgment and your reaction time, so it's we often don't think of ourselves when we're trying to get a lot of work done in a short period of time, but that's when we need to do it more than ever, and that includes things like making sure you're eating well, good nutrition, and staying well hydrated, drinking a lot of water, having healthy snacks, and it's when you're working the long hours, it helps to change your jobs periodically, get out and take a short walk around your equipment, and there's the power of a 20-minute nap that can really help you feel refreshed and restored when you're putting in those long days.
Ulmer adds that 80% of accidents during harvest involve machinery or other motor vehicles such as grain trucks, with 8% of accidents involving youth under the age of 14. Therefore, extra precautions should be taken when children are near equipment.
It's dangerous to bring the young children with you when you're working. Most children involved in serious farm injury events are actually in the company of an adult at the time of the event. So it's important that young children are in designated play areas so they're not running around where implements and machinery are coming and going into the yard. It's also important that youth that are involved in farm activities are doing tasks that are age appropriate, that they're developmentally ready, and to do those tasks and are supervised closely.
Producers experiencing additional stress during the harvest season or having health concerns for any environmental elements they've been exposed to can access information through the Canadian Centre for Health and Safety. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at southwesttvnews.com. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.